I just don't see any other recruitment company they should be using. We are
fair
the number
comment.
one.
Very fair comment. I know you were over the moon when you received it. I remember getting I think you sent me a video of you celebrating at the time.
Yeah, I was very pleased. You know, we don't get that much recognition as recruitment companies. We're normally called flesh peddlers with most people.
So calling recruiters flesh peddlers, and they've been called worse as well.
Yeah.
How did you get into recruitment? Like, how did you get started? Because you didn't just wake up one day and you owned this large recruitment firm.
I started back when I was 21. My auntie had a recruitment company, which was a general high street agency, and I worked for her for a year. And then I went to work for a specialist sales recruitment company, and I worked for them for a year. And after a while, after about 4 months, I've been commission only for them. And it got to after about 6 months of doing commission only, where I just thought, do you know what? I'm giving away 50% of what I'm doing. I don't need this. And I asked my auntie to lend me some money, which she did. And it was a lot of money in those days. It was £75,000, 20 odd years.
That's a lot of money today.
Yeah, it's a lot of money today. So £75,000, 20 years ago, she lent me. So she backed me to sort of say that, you know, I could do it. I was confident I could do it, but it was still nerve-wracking because I was only 22 when we started. But I took the leap and then hopefully never looked back. But that was how I got into it. I'd worked for a specialist recruitment company for a year, but I'd only been in recruitment 2 years when I actually started.
Wow, that's incredible. We're going to kick off with a question that I've got, to be quite honest, is when we recorded the podcast down at your lovely studio there, you were managing director of Robertson Sumner.
Yes.
You're now the CEO. What prompted that change, and what change does that actually mean?
Yeah, hopefully I'll do less work, Sean. That's what I do. But,
that possible?
Yeah, I think the day-to-day running, obviously Callum was at a point where he probably wanted to take a step up to a new role, and I think it was probably right to give him that opportunity to actually do the day-to-day running. And for instance, now I'm trying to do more podcasts like we're doing now, more branding, more actually being ambassador for the company, actually get more clients on. So I'm still doing new business, which I love doing. I still like to go and see clients, but the actual day-to-day running of it and the managing of it is through Callum, which is great. So is there a difference? I don't know, Sean. He's still running around like a headless chicken half the time, but I think that was one of the reasons I wanted to move forward, where actually the day-to-day running of it, you know, signing off expenses, signing off commission structures, you know, the drill, managing people would be down to him, and I would do much more of the PR side and the net new business as well, which I still like. I still like engaging with new customers over video or face to face.
So I think the big sort of return to office from a lot of people I'm speaking to is prompted on that vaccine rollout. Get your vaccines, get back into the office, and then I believe the balance is going to be a lot of 4 days in the office, 1 day at home kind of situation. I think once upon a time we all saw working from home as this luxury. And those of us who maybe are business owners that have done work from home on a regular basis, just because it's quiet time where you can catch up on things, we know it's not the greatest thing out there. And I think now that people have experienced it en masse, there's a lot of eagerness to get back to the office. And, you know, I don't know about you, but I've had employees call me on the phone crying their eyes out. They can't deal with this whole being at home and not being around people, and how stressful that's been.
We're seeing that all the time, Sean. You know, we've got a mental health white paper coming out for the channel next month, just from the findings that we're hearing in the market. And, you know, I'll give an example. One channel firm, who they're actually an award-winning CRM channel vendor, they've got a team of 8, and 5 of their team are signed off with mental health. So,
wow,
you know, what's that? 70% of their team just wiped out. It's just been one of those years, and suicides in the market, which is not publicized enough in the channel. But, you know, I've heard of 3 or 4 suicides of people in the IT channel, which you know, that I know that of companies that people have told me. People I know, and then you just think, damn, you know, you might hear one of those every 2 or 3 years, and I've heard 4 in the last 6 months, and all because people have been isolated, people have been under pressure, people have had their world turned upside down, and it's been really, really tough. And it's something that's not talked about much. It's very prevalent, and we'll publish the findings next month. But I think people mental health's a big topic, and I think people have been talking about it. But I think people will be shocked with the findings as well when they come out, because it's more prevalent, and it's happening in every single company. And every single company have got their own horror stories out, but they're not probably publicising it.
Yeah. Has there been anyone that you've really tried to get on but can't get through to at the moment, or who is dodging your calls? Or
you know what? I've been very lucky and fortunate. Most people that we've targeted have come on. I did try to get Jordan Belfort on from Wolf of Wall Street, which he actually he came back and actually wanted to charge me money to have him on the show, which did put me off. But apart from that, most people have been very happy to help. And I think what's really good is the IT industry. Most people in it really do want to help out. They really do want to help and collaborate. And there hasn't been anyone that we've asked that hasn't come on the show at the moment. So if anyone's out there that does get asked, you can't be the first one now to say no. So you have to take it.
You mentioned that you were incredibly money motivated. That's still the case today?
Yeah, I think so. I think it changes over time. I think I was very money motivated in my 20s, in my 30s. I think when you get into your 40s, I think it's more about the recognition from the industry was great. I think that was really, really important. It wasn't just about the money. It was again, making a difference to the industry, making a name for myself. I still enjoy getting people jobs. I still, people when they're getting jobs, they have three major things in life: getting married, buying a house, or changing jobs. And I get to influence people's job changes every day and every week. And that's still a big kick. I still get a real buzz out of that. So that's exciting. So I think it's more about changing in the industry and being part of something that the IT industry is such an incestuous industry, the IT channel. I've loved being part of that and having the different cogs in the wheel, from distribution, from reseller and MSP to vendor, and how it all works, and being a small part of that and seeing it evolve, and the people in it. It's been a privilege and a gift to actually serve in that industry. So I've really, really enjoyed that.
And you talked about when you were working as a recruiter early doors that you were commission only. Is that still common in the industry?
It's not really, to be fair. And I'm almost commission only now, so I've never worked for anyone else. So unless there's any money in the pot, there's no money for me. But I think people get to a stage where there's little barriers to entry for recruitment. And I think if you get to a point where you're billing a serious amount of money, you do get to that point where you think, what, could I do this from home? Especially in the world we're working now, with people getting remote working and home working. I think there's a lot of people that have seen potentially recruitment as an easy barrier to move into now, where they can start a company, which is maybe just a one-man band from their home, and do that. But normally it hasn't been. But I actually do predict that more companies, most companies in recruitment, start out of a recession. They do tend to shuffle out. When the two recessions I've been through, yes, there's a big shaking of the tree and lots of people leave the industry because it's too hard. But when we come out of recession, it does move pretty quick, and the dial moves quick. And I'm predicting, next year will be a bonanza time for recruiters. It's a good industry now at the moment, but I think next year, 2022, will be a very, very good year for the industry.